Welcome to this explainer. Today, we are breaking down one of the most visually staggering, literally earth-shaking encounters ever documented. We're looking at a scenario that pushes the absolute limits of human survival. I mean, we're talking about a catastrophic monster attack on a major metropolis, and the ultimate, desperate mechanical response we engineered to fight back. We're going to analyze this titanic clash blow by blow, right from the initial breach to the final dust-settling victory. Let's get right into it. It's kind of the ultimate physics equation, isn't it? What actually happens when an unstoppable, seemingly ancient biological force collides head-on with a human-engineered immovable object? When flesh, bone, and molten fury meet steel, circuitry, and nuclear fire. The stakes here aren't just winning a battle. We're talking about the absolute survival of the human race.
Okay, let's dive into this. Just imagine the terrifying scale of this arrival. This isn't just a wild animal. It is literally a walking natural disaster. Notice the sheer disproportionate size of the beast compared to the civilians frantically fleeing in the foreground. They look like absolute ants next to the claws on this thing. The city's architecture, buildings that took us decades to construct, they're just being effortlessly pushed aside like cardboard boxes. Safe to say building codes definitely did not prep for this. And those molten, glowing cracks tracing along its armored skin, that tells us this isn't just physical strength we're dealing with. This creature is a conduit of immense, volatile energy.
Phase 1, the threat manifests. The catastrophe was, well, instantaneous. The structural integrity of our modern skyscrapers meant absolutely nothing. They literally crumbled like toys under its weight. And the immediate fallout? Fleeing civilian populations, thrown into absolute raw panic as the streets just shattered beneath them. We also have to highlight that molten energy coursing through its veins. This suggests an internal temperature and biological makeup that completely defies conventional science. We were facing an unprecedented sheer size and destructive force. Conventional military tactics? Instantly obsolete. We needed a miracle. Which brings us to Phase 2, deploying the defense. Now, what's really interesting about this is the contrast in tactical capabilities we engineered to actually match this monster. First off, you've got the raw power generation. You can see this crackling, blinding blue energy core. The mecha isn't just a physical brawler, you know? It's channeling localized controlled lightning, creating an energy output capable of matching the beast's molten core. But of course, power means absolutely nothing without mobility. So look at the deployment phase. Massive jet thrusters ignite, carrying thousands of tons of armor right through the smoke-filled sky. And those Apache helicopters escorting it, they look like little gnats next to the mecha's legs. It brilliantly demonstrates the sheer, terrifying scale of the machine we built to defend our home. Phase 3, a brutal clash of titans. Now, it wasn't an easy fight, not by a long shot. Right out of the gate, there's a terrifying moment of initial vulnerability. The monster has the upper hand, completely pinning the mecha beneath its immense weight. And those glowing red eyes, there's a real predatory malice there. You can physically see the catastrophic stress on the mecha's frame. Sparks are just flying violently from the chest armor as the monster's massive, razor-sharp claws dig directly into the chassis, dangerously close to that primary energy core. For a split second, the sheer biological mass of the creature really seems to be overpowering our engineering. So the crucial point is how the mecha's pilot leverages the machine's structural integrity to actually survive this pin. Here, we witness the turning of the tide. The mecha somehow manages to get its footing in the fiery ruins. The absolute desperation and power in this grapple is mind-blowing. The mecha's armored hand is physically forcing the beast's massive, tooth-filled jaw at bay. And all this against a chaotic symphony of raging fire and apocalyptic lightning strikes. It's a true test of endurance, our steel against its scales. The mecha is holding the line, flat-out refusing to be pushed back any further.
And then, the opening presents itself. This is the devastating counterstrike. The mecha winds up and delivers a brutally kinetic, explosive punch directly to the monster's snout. It's insane. You can actually see the shockwave of the impact. Shrapnel and biological armor are shattering outward into the air. The sheer kinetic force of a metal fist that size, moving at that velocity, is staggering. A concussive blow exactly like this bypasses the outer armor to shatter the monster's internal defenses, completely disorients the beast, and, abruptly, definitively, changes the entire course of the fight.
Phase 4, victorious in the ruins. Total dominance established. The giant Mecha Robot stands definitively, victoriously right atop the massive carcass of the fallen monster.
The beast's once glowing, molten veins are beginning to cool and darken, turning to lifeless rock amidst the rubble. But, take a moment to really take in the environment surrounding them. The city is completely destroyed. The skyline is totally hollowed out. Skyscrapers are basically reduced to jagged teeth of twisted metal and concrete, and fires are still burning in the distance. The victory is absolute for sure, but man, the cleanup and insurance bills are going to be astronomical. And this brilliantly illustrates the emotional core of the whole event. As the dust settles and the smoke finally begins to clear, the sun rises directly behind our victorious mecha. Its blue chest core is still glowing brightly, a literal beacon of human resilience. The machine stands tall, battered but unbroken, casting a long shadow over the fallen creature at its feet. The lighting here isn't just dramatic, it represents literal survival. It's a new dawn. We stared into the face of an extinction-level event, and we held our ground. The key takeaway from this explainer is that this wasn't just a battle won. It was a total paradigm shift. We have entered the dawn of a new era of defense. We proved that through sheer engineering marvel, collective will, and technological innovation, humanity doesn't just have to run and hide from the impossible anymore. We can build our own titans. We can stand and fight. But it does leave us with a pretty chilling final thought. Yes, the city is saved today. Our giant mecha robot is standing victorious in a destroyed city with a fallen monster at its feet. But as the fires burn out and the dust finally settles, well, if one of these unstoppable forces existed, what other titans are currently waking up in the deep, drawn by the sounds of this clash? We survived today, but the war for our planet might have literally just begun. Thank you so much for joining me on this deep dive into the anatomy of a mecha victory, right here on this explainer.